Trade is the most important source of employment among self-employed women of sub-Saharan Africa, providing 60% of non-agricultural self-employment. However, there are so many challenges faced by these traders, especially the small-scale cross-border traders.
Some of the challenges include lack of funds and access of revolving funds that can make CPTA to survive on their businesses. High taxation, high percentage from institution rates, corruption and bribery. This is a serious disease in our day-to-day business implementation and economic growth.
The COMESA Cross-Border Trade Initiative program encompasses both activities to be implemented at the level of the whole COMESA tripartite region and specific intervention at targeted border posts. Some of the initial border posts that the COMESA Cross-Border Trade Initiative program will implement include Mwami Mchinji, Kasumbalesa, Chirundu, Tunduma Nakonde, and Moyale border between Ethiopia and Kenya. To this end, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, has put in place strong levels of commitment towards formalizing trade in the region. Despite these efforts, it is very common to see women and youth mostly crossing the borders with heads, arms, and backs laden with goods for sale. For example, in partnership with the European Union, COMESA is spearheading a small-scale cross-border trade initiative across its member state borders. Under the 11th European Development Fund, the European Union is availing 85 million euros for the COMESA sub-envelope, of which 68 million euros will be for the implementation of program under Objective 1, which is to reduce the cost of cross-border trade through the removal of internal barriers in line with the tripartite agreements. The Objective 1 is divided into two programs, namely Trade Facilitation, 53 million euros, and Small-Scale Cross-Border Trade, 15 million euros.
These cross-border exchanges are key for income generation, are key for job creation, food security for many poor households in the COMESA region that would otherwise be excluded from other economic activities. Hence, this is the high relevance of small-scale cross-border trade that goes far beyond the statistics as it touches directly the lives of people.
Secretary General Sindiso Ngwenya, in a speech at the signing ceremony of the initiative at Mwami border in Chipata, indicated that the program on small-scale cross-border trade aims at increasing the formalization of informal cross-border trade and enhancing trade flows, leading to higher incomes for small-scale cross-border traders, with 5 key result areas.
As we implement the program, we should be aware that we should not introduce incentives that work against entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship in the sense that we should now be thinking in this program of how do we make it sustainable. And one of the things I'll be recommending we should do is come up with a business model for them. A business model that will enable them to graduate from eking out existence, from struggling, for them to become part of the formal, economy.
For Malawi, this program has come at the right time when Malawi and Zambia are establishing a one-stop border post at Mwami and Mchinji to facilitate ease of cross-border and transit trade, thereby reducing time and cost and improving our country's competitiveness. Malawi, Zambia, and Mozambique are discussing the development and implementation of the Nacala corridor with a view to enhancing trade facilitation along the borders, supporting, among others, small-scale cross-border traders.
This is a very, very important initiative in the sense that most of the people the small-scale traders, the small-scale businesses are going to have a new leaf in their business, performance.
On the other hand, the Zambian government indicated that infrastructure development at the various border posts shall be priority, especially that the current infrastructure is outdated, posing a danger to the operations at the borders. For the traders, the initiative has been a long-awaited bonus from COMESA and the EU.
Our association and members are at the beautiful end of receiving, going by the intended purpose of this ceremony. It has been a long wait since the EU Commission, through COMESA, requested us to participate in the Imani study for needs assessment and validation workshop for the program.
The formalization of small-scale cross-border trade at the Mwami-Mchinji border shall reduce or completely eliminate illegal use of ungazetted routes across the border, like this one. This route, commonly known as Zalewa, allows both the Malawi and Zambian governments, through the Revenue Authority, to lose colossal sums of money in unpaid duties. Once implemented, the cross-border trade initiative will help to fill in the gaps that were being experienced in the COMESA tripartite region, such as effective policy and governance reforms, institutional capacity building, trade-related infrastructure, with a focus on the needs of small-scale traders, while improving management of agencies operating at the borders. The initiative will further motivate the cross-border traders to use formal channels instead of informal channels, and will also help to mainstream cross-border traders from informal to formal.